Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Young Voices of the North podcast. I'm Namirembe, and I'm joined here with Eni.
Hi, I'm Eni.
And we also have a guest today, Diana.
Hi, I'm Diana.
And today we will be discussing French immersion and then specifically how it works in the North because things run a little differently up here since we have a smaller population, a little less resources, things like that. So first of all, let's just go over like how long we've all been in the program and kind of what's our favorite memory from it. So Diana, would you like to start us off?
I've been in French immersion since kindergarten, and I think my favorite memory is probably going to Quebec with my class in 8th grade.
And why is that your favorite?
Because it was a chance to see new people who also know French and meet friends.
Eni?
Yeah. I've been in French immersion since junior kindergarten, and I guess my favorite memory, I didn't go on that Quebec trip, unfortunately, but my favorite memory would probably be the second time I went to Festival du Voyageur.
Mm-hmm.
That was lots of fun.
And what was your favorite thing about that trip?
Activate was lots of fun, and also the escape room. Yeah.
Okay, and then for myself, I've been in it since like kindergarten, although I did do like the French preschool, so if we want to count that. And I'd have to say my favorite memory are just like any of the trips in general, because I feel like for anyone, like when you're learning anything, it's a lot more fun like when you actually get to go out and apply it in the real world. So in our case for French immersion, like we usually get like nice trips and things because we actually get to go out and use our French like just an everyday kind of like conversation, and you're not just like sitting in a classroom trying to figure out how to conjugate verbs or something. But like all the exchanges and then also the Festival de Voyageur trips or like trips to like Flin or Dauphin, things like that. I've always found those to be very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so now how has French immersion benefited all of our lives?
Can I go first?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like knowing French really opened up like a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. For example, in grade 9, I got to host this bilingual live stream for Hacker Gal Day. Hacker Gal Day. And obviously, since it was bilingual, I had to like say everything in English and then repeat myself in French. So definitely, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't been in French immersion for so long. And there are also just so many other career opportunities already. I haven't even graduated high school. I'm only in grade 10 that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, which I think is cool.
And like, how are you going to use this like moving forward even after high school? Because you talked about how you used it like so far, but after high school, do you plan on still continuing to use your French?
Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly I'll continue to use my French, but definitely to travel, first of all. And then I'm not sure. I'm not really planning on going into like a career that involves French, but yeah.
But could be an asset.
Yeah.
I think that French has benefited my life because I do French tutoring out of Pasqua, so that's a way I can use it in my job. And I plan to be a French immersion teacher in the future too.
Yeah.
What like grade level of French immersion do you want to teach?
I'm thinking about something in elementary school, about grade 2 to 3.
And is that like based off of your experience from doing the tutoring? You enjoyed kind of teaching that age group a little more?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, for myself, so I am going to university in the fall, and I'm going to U Ottawa, and part of the reason for that was because they're like the most bilingual university in this country. So though like I'm doing like my studies in English, I'll still be taking like French classes, like the language part at least, like maybe eventually I'll also take like a course in French. But I'm really glad to like have that option also because I'm majoring in political science. And so if I end up working for the government, like federal government, that's really an asset, being bilingual and living in Canada, things like that. On top of that, like I have opportunities to do like, have you guys have heard of the FNGI? I know like our French teachers brought it up in class recently and all that. See, not knowing French, you wouldn't get that opportunity. And there you get to like meet new people and network and things like that. And then finally, of course, like you mentioned, any like traveling. Like I'm always thought like it's kind of scary if you just go to a country and you don't know how to speak the language. Like at least
Yeah.
like in most places you'll find like an English speaker, so we all speak English, that's fine. But I'm like it's kind of nice like that if you go to like France or like Belgium or something and you know how to speak French, then you're not like completely like lost. You know?
Yeah. I feel like it'd be so scary going to a country where everyone's speaking one language and you don't understand it. It's like, what if they're
Yeah.
planning on scamming you? And like,
I mean that probably happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, because I even like I said, like at least like most places you'll find like an English speaker, but like, can you imagine you didn't know like English either,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But also one thing about travel and knowing French. Have you guys ever been to like Quebec or somewhere and like you're trying to speak French to them? Like, no, you are speaking French to them, but like they reply to you in English either which way.
Oh
It's so
yeah,
awkward.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's like I promise I know what I'm saying. I'm just not like I don't have like the accent or I'm not as
Yeah.
fluent, but
it's actually kind of like, it's kind of sad. Like, I spent all this time
Yeah.
learning French and
no.
for no reason.
It's almost like we should carry a diploma around like once you graduate. Be like, I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now with all this being said, we do have like a lot of benefits. So like it benefits our personal lives, like careers, things like that being in French immersion. But also living in the North, we do face some challenges. And one of them was that, what was this, like last year is when they announced this, I think, about how they increased the amount of French credits you need to
Yeah.
graduate with a French immersion diploma. So the intention, I guess, is that, you know, we take more classes in French. So technically benefiting, like, or not benefiting, it's encouraging us to like stay in French because like by doing more French. But at the same time, for like people like myself, Diana, and Eniola living up here in the North, that's not exactly the easiest thing to do. So we're going to discuss that a little bit. So what are overall, like, what are your opinions on that?
I feel like the move, like making it so that you need to have more French credits, could work in other areas, like maybe in Winnipeg or other parts of the province where there are the resources to do so. But now for people who do need to get, what is it, 16 credits?
I think that's what they changed it to, yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. You have to take 16 classes. You only need 33 to graduate. So that's like half your classes almost in French.
Wait,
and
30 credits to graduate.
30?
Yeah.
Oh.
Our school just has a 33 for that extra diploma.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. So you're taking, well, in that case, you're taking most
Like-
of your classes in French. And that can be very difficult, especially since we already have like online classes. We don't have the teachers and resources to be able to just take classes the way that like you would normally would. We don't even have the teacher in the classroom with us. We have to like do like a Zoom call with other schools. So like it's not like a bad decision, just difficult for us.
And there's also like hardly enough classes to even get 14 in the first place. So having to get 16 makes a lot of people have to do like volunteer credits and stuff at the schools.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that. Even so, like, at least the three of us are lucky that our graduating classes, we, like, kind of, like, don't have to because we're kind of too far along for that. But, like, even, like, me, like, graduating this year, I'm going to graduate with exactly 14, which is originally what you needed. For those of you who didn't know, it's just the 14 credits. So, like, I'm just thinking, imagine they just automatically applied it. Like, doesn't matter if you're in your grade 12 year. I wouldn't even know where to get those 2 extra credits from.
Yeah.
Because, I already have like full course load because we have to take our sciences and our maths, and living in a small community, those classes that technically have less people are kind of already set in stone. So you can't like move things around and try to fit in like more French classes and things like that. So I feel bad for anyone like who's like going to be starting high school in the fall because that's going to apply to them. So like that's even like for my little brother, and I'm like, there aren't very like many options, you know?
Exactly. And also there is this shortage in teachers in French immersion already, where there are too many students and not enough teachers to teach them. So I'm not sure how this will be equitable for us living here in the future, because there's already not enough teachers. And now for all these students to have to take 2 additional credits in
Mm-hmm.
French that'll be difficult for them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and part of the reason also because I was thinking, so like thinking about our school, the way you could get those two extra credits, because what tends to happen is people don't take their grade 11 and 12 maths in French. But I feel like part of the reason for that too is it's so hard having to learn like over the screen and like your teacher's not there. Like just
Mm-hmm.
thinking like when you have like a problem with math, like can you imagine like trying to like email your teacher like what you're not
Yeah.
understanding when they can't like see your assignment, see
Mm-hmm.
like maybe where you did something wrong. Like I know that's happened to me before, and the teacher like he didn't even understand what I was trying to say, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
over email. So people tend to, especially grade 11 and 12, you know, your grades like they start to matter a little bit more. It's a little bit harder, so people go take like their pre-cal or their applied or their essentials like in English because at least the teacher's there, and it's
Yeah.
so much easier, so much more convenient.
Mm-hmm.
But just we've all lived through COVID. We can all agree, like even just online learning, it's not convenient. It's not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Yet that's
Yeah.
something we have to do. And with those two additional credits, we'll continue to have to do even more, like
Mm-hmm.
moving forward in the future.
Yeah. Maybe we should explain more what our classrooms look like for our viewers who may live out of town. So I'll just quickly explain what our classrooms kind of look like when we're taking these online French courses. So pretty much we're sitting in our classroom, and then there's a camera and a TV pointing at the entire classroom, and our teacher is living somewhere like maybe Swan River or Flin Flon, trying to teach us the math, but the teacher is obviously living hours away from where we actually are. So if we do have questions, as Namirembe said, we have to send an email or something. And yeah, that's just for any of you living out of town who are kind of wondering, what are they talking about?
Mm-hmm. So with this, are there any like other challenges that you guys have kind of noticed as well? Because we kind of went over the credit.
I think the most difficult thing is just having our teacher be online most of the time
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because it's hard to ask questions, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And in our school, we only have one teacher who actually speaks French that
Yeah.
we have in person classes with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another difficulty I feel is the fact that since our classes are with other towns and things, the time of our classes are kind of set in stone. For example,
Mm-hmm.
this semester I was supposed to take computer science in grade 10. So right now I'm supposed to be having computer science period 1, and then maybe I could like switch around my math and my band and stuff, and I could have made it work. But since I am taking my math in French, I can't switch around anything. So I actually have to take computer science grade 10 and 11 next year so I can catch up with what I missed this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not having that flexibility to kind of switch your schedule around
Mm-hmm.
kind of affected me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that's really hard for a lot of people. I remember there's a conflict also with like driver's ed. I remember one year and like certain French class or like a science. Oh yeah, it's physics and French gym. I remember there's a conflict there. And usually if you want to make sure you have enough credits, you have to take like your French gym. But it's like, what if someone's entering sciences and they need their physics? Like, what do they do in that situation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like another thing, because like, so Diana and I both did the tutoring, it's like having those like extra, like even like French EAs in the schools too, because so we do the tutoring to give those kids the extra help because like obviously the teacher can't like spend like like so much time on like the students that have difficulty, right? So it's like we need more French speaking like school staff, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if you have French immersion, you need to have like a sufficient amount of French speaking staff, and that doesn't just mean the teacher because you can't expect a teacher to be able to help all 30 kids, like,
Yeah.
right? You need to have like the EAs or maybe have like on staff tutors even too, not just us after school tutors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like Diana, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think we definitely have a lack of French EAs
Mm.
because we do have one French EA in our math class, but that's the only one we have in our
Mhm.
in the high school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And if she's like sick or something,
Mm-hmm.
then we just have a substitute who like doesn't even know French, and that can be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As you guys can probably tell now, like French immersion's great. So grateful that we have it up here, but with that, there's so many challenges. And so when it even comes to like government making things like that, like with the extra credit, they really need to consult people living in the north as well, because
Mm-hmm.
their experiences are a lot different than ours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now moving forward with that, what is everyone's hopes for the future? Like just could be with like the French immersion program in general, or in the north, or for yourself.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that we can get more French teachers and more EAs in our classrooms. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
maybe the government's like they should focus on, well, not focus. I know there are like a lot of other issues,
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but they should really put more thought into maybe encouraging teachers to want to move to the north and like giving them benefits to
Mm-hmm.
stay here. Because right now, if for example your dad were to move away,
Mm-hmm.
then we would be ruined. Like the
Yeah.
French immersion program in the high school would like
Yeah.
completely fall apart if your dad left.
Yeah, for context, my dad's the one and only French teacher in our high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diana?
I want to graduate with a French diploma,
Mm-hmm.
which is 14 credits, and then I'm not sure if I want to do school in French or not, but I do want to come back to somewhere in the north to teach.
Mm-hmm. That's really nice to hear they want to like come back, because we're gonna need you guys, like the French immersion teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for myself. Yeah, I really hope that there's something that's done and like soon, hopefully, to have like more like teachers and EAs and resources up here. Because like even when you think of like other jobs outside, they pay them like, what is it, like the $35-$40 an hour, like for like those like I know like when you work for the train, I think it is, you make that much, right, to entice people to come in. Like I know we don't have like, we can't pay like everyone like, you know, like their dream salary or whatever, but like you said, with like the benefits or something, or even making it like, I don't know, maybe like part of not necessarily the training, but where it's like you have to like serve in like a rural or northern community, like teach there for like maybe like 1 or 2 years at least. So then at least we have that constant rotation of like new teachers,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully that can also do something there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mandatory service for teachers.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, that's like, I know that sounds kind of bad because people want to live where they want to live, but at the same time, it's like you gotta help us out here. We're struggling. We need the help,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, just do it out of the kindness of your heart, you know.
Mhm.
So that wraps up another episode. I know we're talking about French immersion. We didn't speak French, but that's okay. That's because we know most of you guys are English speakers. So thank you again all for listening to another one of our podcasts, and we will see you all next month.
Bye.
Bye.